Welcome all. So this is going to be a short 5-minute discussion on the second part of core themes part 2, which you would have covered in the second week of lessons. So here we go. So when we look at core themes 2, the main thing about it is we looked at social differentiation, power, and stratification. These were the 3 core concepts that form the basis of this week of lessons. Now, social differentiation is the process of making people different. It's dividing a group of people based on particular characteristics, traits, or elements or features that they share with one another. So, for example, on a very basic level, you could differentiate a room of people based on hair color or eye color. That would be social differentiation. If you divide that group out into different hair colors, you have socially differentiated the group. Power was the second concept we looked at. Now, power is the ability to control and exert your force over other people. Essentially, it's having a position where you can tell people what to do. So in the classroom, when you're in college, the teacher has the power. They are the person with the power, and the reason they've got that power is their age, their social class, their status, their educational achievements, and their role within the college. That gives them power. And in college sense, it is a perceived power. It's not a physical power that they can control what you do, but this presumption that they are in charge and you listen to what they say. And then lastly, we have stratification. Now, stratification is the ranking or the hierarchical ranking or layering of a group into different positions. So if we kind of look at these 3 concepts together, you may socially differentiate a group of people based on your hair color. You then layer and rank them. So you maybe put the brunettes at top, then it's blondes, and it's redheads, and it's people with black hair. You would organize that group based on their hair color. That's then stratification. And obviously the element of power would be, for example, if the people at the top of the hierarchy have more power than those at the bottom of that hierarchy. Now, just to explore this a little bit more, when we looked at social differentiation, we looked at it in college, or you have looked at it on the basis of cage. So we looked at it in relation to class, age, gender, and ethnicity. Now, in this process, we socially differentiated each group, and this differentiation could be done on their income, their status, their wealth, their political power, their ethnicity, their educational achievement. We could differentiate those groups on a range of different categories. Once they're differentiated, you put them into the hierarchy. So if we look at social class, which you differentiate the class based on income and employment, those with the highest income will be at the top of the hierarchy. So the upper class are generally at the top of the hierarchy because they have more power, more status, more wealth, and they have that ability to control people lower down the hierarchy. Within this, we also see status. Your status is the role you play in society. It's the value or a recognition your status contains. And the way you're given status is in 2 ways. You can be ascribed status, in which you're given it at birth. So the Queen has an ascribed status. She was given the title of Queen, or going to become Queen. An achieved status is one you earn through your own efforts. You have worked and achieved it. So you have achieved your GCSEs, that's an achieved status. You weren't just given those qualifications. Now, in relation to this, there are some other concepts we looked at in the sort of final stages of core themes 2. So we looked at sociological perspectives. Now, just to kind of touch on this, sociology and sociological perspectives form the basis of what we do. We look at 6 key sociological theories, and we look at how they view and explain the world from a different perspective or different points of view. So that will be something we explore a lot as we go, and the theory is the basis of sociology. It's why we are studying sociology. Sociological research is about how we conduct research, how we get information, how do we find data within sociology. So it's about research methods. So this will be looking at methods like questionnaires, interviews, observations. How are they used? Why do sociologists use them? What is the type of data and the information that you can gather from them? We will also look at policy. Quite a lot of social policy is throughout this topic, because a lot of the actions and decisions of government influence the lives of individuals in society. So again, lots of ways that social policy and policy makers will kind of influence what we study. And last but not least, the word globalization here. Globalization is the idea that the world has become or feels smaller because of greater interconnectedness. And as a result, we see more communication, more travel, more trade, and greater movement of people. So this is going to be a recurring theme throughout the topic. And there we have overview of core theme 2 in just over 5 minutes there. Now, just as an additional overview of this topic, we've got this diagram which I've put on the screen. Feel free to take a screenshot and save it, or ask your teachers for the original document. But again, this is a bit like with the core themes 1. This is how I try to summarize the week of learning. And this really just looks at the stratification process. So as you can see at the top of the society stratification, you've got a group of people. You then see that they're made socially different through differentiation. So they've divided the group of people into different hierarchy positions. Those at the top have more power than those at the bottom. I've explained it in relation to social class and introduced some concepts that you may not have looked at, which is the capitals. If you haven't studied those as part of your lessons, don't panic. It's a little extra set of ideas that will relate and make sense later on in the course. In the meantime, you can ignore those and just look at the sort of the temperature gauge of class. I've talked about how that applies to ascribed and achieved statuses. Hopefully that may help. If it doesn't, don't panic. But overall, I hope this video has been of some use to you today. And thanks for watching.